Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about why now is such an opportune time to add Teranga Gold to your investment portfolio. But before I get started, I'd like to draw your attention to our forward-looking statement on the slide behind me. I get into a lot of trouble at the office if I don't point that out first. By way of background, I have been with Teranga Gold since 2015. At that time, the company had only one asset and limited prospects for growth. Flash forward 4 years, and today, Teranga looks very, very different. With a strong organic growth pipeline, Teranga stands out in the industry. You know, most mining companies are value stories. Very few have organic growth. Teranga has both, value and growth. We also have a very clear vision. In the next 5 years, we are going to build a multi-asset, mid-tier gold producer. And investors are already starting to take notice of our pipeline of assets. Our foundation is a long-life producing gold mine in Senegal. We also have 2 projects in Burkina Faso. Our second gold mine, which is currently under construction, and a new discovery, which could very well be our 3rd gold mine. To top off our assets, we have assembled a very prospective exploration portfolio in Cote d'Ivoire. It is this growth pipeline that sets us apart from other mining companies. The fact is that we can become a mid-tier gold producer by simply advancing our existing pipeline of assets. And why is this important to you as investors? Well, first, we can grow our production, earnings, and cash flow organically. We don't have to make acquisitions. And second of all, operating multiple assets across multiple jurisdictions greatly reduces our operating and country risk. So let's step back for a moment and take a closer look at our flagship operation, Sabadala. Sabadala is the largest gold mine in Senegal. The majority of our reserves are open pit. In 2017, we delivered an optimized mine plan. The 5-year plan between 2018 and 2022 sees Sabadala producing 1 million ounces of gold and generating $230 million in free cash flow at $1,250 gold. This is cash that can be used to fund our growth pipeline. Just last week, our CEO was at Sabadala, and in his own words, Sabadala is in the best shape it's ever been in. And you can see it in the numbers. 2018 was another great year for Sabadala. Driven by higher than expected grade, we produced 245,000 ounces of gold. This represents a 5% increase and our 3rd consecutive year of record production. And what it means? Well, it means that we are well on track not only to achieve our 5-year plan, but to exceed it. Importantly, we have a strong record of replacing reserves at Sabadala. At the time of our IPO in 2010, Sabadala had gold reserves of 1.4 million ounces. Today, after producing 1.6 million ounces, Sabadala still has 2.7 million ounces of gold in reserves. This equates to a 13-year mine life. This is a long life mine. And to top things off, we still have a significant resource base. One of the biggest opportunities we have with respect to our resource base is the conversion of resources at our largest deposit on the mine life. This deposit is called Nakafiri. Currently, we are relocating the village that sits atop Nakafiri. Once complete, in early 2020, we will be in a position to resume and complete our drill program there. The resettlement is well underway. The community is very pleased with how the village is taking shape, and so are we. These resettlements take years and years of planning and many stakeholders, and we are all looking forward to a successful completion. So that wraps up Sabadala. Let's move on to Wahgnion, our second mine. Once completed later this year, Wahgnion will increase Teranga's annualized production by 50%. In the first 5 years of its mine life, Wahgnion's annual production is expected to average 132,000 ounces. And that's at an all-in sustaining cost of sub $800. This is going to be a low-cost operation. To start, Wahgnion has open pit gold reserves of 1.6 million ounces. To put this in context for you, this is 14% larger than Sabadala's initial reserve base back in 2010. I should highlight too that Wahgnion's current reserve estimate includes only 4 deposits. That is 4 of more than a dozen targets on the mine license. Ultimately, we believe that Wahgnion, much like Sabadala, is going to be a long life asset with a 15 to 20 year mine life. The Wahgnion project, which commenced in early 2018, continues to advance on time and on budget. To give you an idea where we are in terms of construction, on this next slide is a photo of the new primary crusher currently being installed at Wahgnion. The mill shells were delivered last weekend, and now all of the major mill components are on site. The focus now is on completion. Specifically, this includes operations readiness and executing on the commissioning plan. Completing Wahgnion is a critical step for Teranga Gold. With its commissioning later this year, Teranga will become a multi-asset producer operating in multiple jurisdictions with a much improved risk profile. So we've talked about Sabadala, our producing mine, and we've just discussed Wahgnion, our soon-to-be second producing asset. Now, let's talk about what one of our investors calls the sizzle, and that is Golden Hill. Golden Hill is our most advanced exploration project. It is located in Burkina Faso on the Houndé Belt. This is an area well known for high-grade gold discoveries. Nearly 14 million ounces have been discovered there to date. 2018 saw a lot of activity for us around Golden Hill. We drilled 355 holes totaling more than 43,000 meters. We also bought out our joint venture partner and now own 100% of this asset. Moreover, we completed a joint venture relating to a property that lies just to the north of Golden Hill. What attracted us to this property is the geology, the structure, and the mineralization. It is very similar to what we've been seeing on our Golden Hill permits. So based on drill results received to date, our confidence continues to mount that Golden Hill could be our third gold mine. In just 2 years, Golden Hill has produced a series of very good grade, near surface drill results. Currently, there are 9 prospects located within a 7.5 kilometer radius from a central point. This factor becomes very important when considering the location of a future mill. But we have a bit to go before we get to that point. Right now, we are focused on moving Golden Hill through to feasibility, and we've raised $25 million in debt to do just that. Our next step is to release an initial resource later this quarter. I do want to stress this will be an initial estimate. We expect the number of ounces to grow as we continue our active exploration program. So beyond Burkina Faso and Senegal, we've entered into 2 joint ventures in Cote d'Ivoire. The first is with Miminvest, a company controlled by our largest shareholder. It comprises a number of early-stage exploration permits, which we will continue to drill out this year. The second joint venture we have in Cote d'Ivoire relates to a very prospective land package. It's called Afema. Afema is located along trend with a number of prolific gold belts extending from Ghana. Already there are several historic mines on our land package, as well as about 140 kilometers of strike length. Cote d'Ivoire is a very exciting place for Teranga Gold to be. It is much underexplored, yet more than 1/3 of the West African Birimian Greenstone Belt resides within the country's borders. Listen, it's early days for Teranga Gold in Cote d'Ivoire, but stay tuned for more news about our activities there in the next 12 to 18 months. So in summary, we've assembled an extensive growth pipeline. A pipeline that within 5 years has the potential to produce more than 500,000 ounces of gold on an annual basis. All of our properties are situated in French West Africa, where we have successfully and without incident been operating for more than a decade. We know how to operate in West Africa, and we are well positioned in this region to move forward with our pipeline of projects. One major key to our success in West Africa is our strong social license. We believed at the time of Teranga's IPO that to be successful and to be able to grow our business there, we would have to lead with a strong social license. And we have done just that. Our strong commitment to CSR is one of the factors that attracted not only our largest shareholder, but our growing European shareholder base. Our social license has contributed to our growth in Senegal and is now paving the way for our expansion in Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. We work hard to be a partner of choice and to share the benefits of responsible mining with all of our stakeholders. I'm going to leave you now with one last important thought. When you look at the pipeline of projects that we've amassed, there are gold assets at all stages: production, development, as well as early to advanced stage exploration. By the end of 2019, we will be operating 2 mines in 2 jurisdictions and potentially a 3rd mine in the making with Golden Hill. And by achieving these milestones, we will be well on our way to becoming a mid-tier gold producer with the potential to produce 500,000 ounces per year. And as I mentioned at the outset, Teranga is both a value and growth story. It's also a very compelling investment opportunity. With a market cap of roughly $400 million today, our stock price has plenty of room to grow, especially if gold breaks out this year, as so many are predicting. So that wraps up the Teranga story. If you have any questions, please drop by our booth, 516, Our CFO, Navin Dial, and I, and the rest of the team, Katerina, will be at the booth and happy to answer any and all of your questions. Thank you.